Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by again. Today we are talking about our most recent stay in St. Louis. We stayed at Draftkings Casino Queen. It was a very quick trip. Well, we're not in St. Louis as I'm doing this right now. Reason being, we were there for less than 24 hours. We were using it basically to kind of break it up. We wanted to see and do a couple of things along the way, so we decided to stay one night. I'll talk about the resort a little bit, or the park where we stayed. I have a little bit of footage that I'll share with you. But again, we were really not even at the camper the entire time. We were off in the city doing stuff. We basically used it as a place to drop, put our heads down, got up, and like I said, we were there for less than 24 hours. A few things about the park that I do want to mention. When you are coming in, there are a couple of low bridges that the GPS brings you to. The lowest one I believe was 13.4, which is right at our max. So we ended up going around and finding a different way. Something to consider when you are looking at getting into this park. I actually use RV Life, the GPS system through RV Life, and I had set my max height in there to my actual camper height, so it actually brought me to exactly the height of my camper. So there's no way we were going to squeeze under it. Definitely something you need to consider when you're getting there. The park does say that they are a gated park, and while they do have gates, the gates were open. Something to consider if that is something that you look for in a park. The pads were nothing spectacular. They were pull-through pads. Again, a lot of seasonal people staying there. The pads were rock, and although there was supposed to be grass between, it was really just all rock everywhere. The utilities, as I'll show you in a video here in a second, were all in the back of the camper. In order for me to get my fifth wheel in the site and not be sticking out in the in traffic on the road, I was not able to reach my sewer lines back there, so I actually had to back up the next day to dump, and I had to use 2 hoses in order to hook up with water. Not a huge deal by any means, but for some people, if you don't have them, that could be an issue when you get there. There's no store available, nothing that you can go into the camp store and get anything. It doesn't exist there. They do have some picnic tables available in like little gazebos, and there is also a little tiny playground. Right across the parking lot, there's the casino. Very unique casino. It actually used to be on a riverboat, and due to regulations, they had to move it on land. And there was a regulation where it still had to be on water, so the entire thing essentially is floating. The whole gaming floor is floating inland on like 360,000 gallons of water, which is just crazy to think about. But you're able to walk right over to the casino. You can actually, with staying at the RV park, you are able to use the pool, the indoor pool at the casino. We didn't have time to do that, but another thing that you can consider when you get there. The real cool thing about this park is that if you're going to sit outside and have a campfire, again, it was over 100 degrees here. You have the arch as your background backdrop. That's what you're looking at as you're having your campfire, so that is pretty cool. And then the proximity. It is a very quick walk over to the arch area. Well, quick walk, I should say, a reasonable walk. It's 30 to 40 minutes. We opted to take an Uber. Again, it was over 100 degrees, so we weren't going to walk in that heat, but excited for you guys to kind of see what we did in our short little stay in St. Louis here. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, any other questions about the park, let me know. Put a comment down. I'll make sure to answer anything you have. All right, y'all. Well, there you have it. As you can tell, we made the most of our short little stay here in St. Louis. A lot of fun, a lot of things to do around the park. Again, quick little drive over there or a walk if it's a nice day in order to do that. And you're right in all the action. Everything you just saw is right in the same area, very easily accessible. A lot of fun things to do for both adults and the parents. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Same with the last video. We are not going to be rating this park because, again, we use it as places to drop, get off. We were there for less than 24 hours. But our next video going up, it's going to be a big one. I mean, this is going to be a lot of adventure. There's a lot going on in the next one. Really excited for you guys to see that one. And appreciate all the support and y'all hanging out with us here. And remember, life's always better with a great campfire and great company. And we'll see you at the next campsite. Take care, y'all.